Today's episode is sponsored by vehiclescore.co.uk, the best site to visit if you want to make a more informed decision when buying a used car.
Hello and welcome to Charging Status, the UK and Ireland focused EV podcast. Me and Jim have today been to the Fully Charged South 2023 event on day one, just Friday. It's been a pretty good event, hasn't it, Jim?
Yeah, it has. I think we should mention that we're currently sat in my family car outside Costa Coffee, just outside the venue, because it was really not looking too hopeful of us getting a drink anytime soon inside the venue, and we've kind of done it now, so we thought we'd just pull ourselves away, have a little bit of a quiet moment and reflect on the day and share it with you guys. But yeah, good day, good event, couple of new launches there which we'll talk about in a second. What was the highlight for you, Alex?
So we start the day off, we saw the BYD Dolphin. They announced their new hatchback, sort of head to head with the ID3. I think the highlight of the day was the Aura Lightning Cat, or that's its proposed name.
They're going to call it, yeah. It was quite an interesting looking car, and I did manage to grab a few words with Toby from Aura UK. So we'll play that for you right now. Hello folks, I'm here today with Toby from GWM Aura, and we've just seen the UK launch for the Aura Lightning Cat, which obviously its first appearance in the UK. Tell us more, Toby.
Yeah, well, first thing is, I'm not sure the name of the car, so I know it's called Lightning Cat in different markets, but the name for Europe hasn't been confirmed yet.
Okay.
But no, it's a super exciting car to get in. We were keen to unveil it here at Fully Charged Live because this time last year we unveiled the Aura Funky Cat.
Yep.
And I wanted to show everybody the next model that's coming along because it kind of helps people understand who we are as a brand and where we fit in the marketplace. So having it here was pretty important for us. Obviously, it's a D-segment saloon.
Yep.
It's got an EV range of over 300 miles. There are quick versions of it for sale in China, which are 60 in 4.4 seconds, so it's super quick and whizzy. But everything you touch and feel is really premium. It feels really nice. It's a nice place to be inside. It looks very distinctive on the outside as well, and I really like it. Very excited about getting it in. Yeah. So
I think that was the thing that stood out for me with the Funky Cat was the level of finish, fit and finish inside that cabin is really from like a class above.
The doors are heavy. Nothing creaks and rattles when you prod and poke it. Yeah. It's really well screwed together and a nice place to be.
Yeah. So at the moment we don't know what the car's going to be called in the UK. I guess we don't know the final specs.
I can't tell you the spec, the price, or even what it's going to be called. Yeah. But I'm expecting it to go on sale at the beginning of 2024. So between now and then, that we will establish all those things and start to tell people about it and commence our pre-heat activities really for the vehicle.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And in terms of the market you're going after, which driver do you want to take away from what?
Well, it's really, it competes in a part of the market in the UK which is big and vibrant. It's I guess some similar vehicles could be things like the Ioniq 6, the EV6, Tesla Model 3, that sort of thing. So that's where, at the moment, without really knowing a lot more detail, I imagine it sitting in the marketplace.
And just for people watching or listening to this that don't know so much about the Aura brand and GWM, anything you can...
Well, GWM Aura is one of Great Wall's brands. So Great Wall have 5 brands, and Aura is the EV-only brand. So everything Aura is designed from the ground up to be an EV. Excuse the plane noise.
There is an irony here. We're doing Fully Charged Live, all about electric vehicles, and we're at a private airport, folks.
With private jets.
Yeah.
So everything Aura is designed from the minute the designer's pencil or whatever they use nowadays hits the whatever they use nowadays. So there are no compromises. They haven't whipped out an engine and stuck a battery pack in, and the vehicle is the handling is designed around it being an EV, and the weight is distributed perfectly. So this is the EV only brand, and very exciting. They have got bags of personality. The DNA flows through. Certainly these two models, you can tell they're both from the same stable.
Yeah, sure.
And that's really important. And it makes our job a lot easier when we're launching a new brand to have distinctive looking cars, and they have clear DNA flowing through them between these two and any future models as well.
Yeah, and that's quite a bold thing, really, for a new company to come into a market with such a bold and interesting design.
Yeah.
And I think lots of others are going to come in with a car where you come in with something that evokes some kind of emotional response, whether it's I love it or I hate it.
Yeah.
It evokes a response.
It certainly gets attention. Where I live is quite a busy place, and when I drive through the streets, everybody stops and stares. It really gets attention when you drive along.
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting looking car,
Yeah.
very premium interior. So can't wait to find out a bit more in the fullness of time.
Perfect. Well, we'll keep you very much informed.
Great, thanks very much. So quite interesting, Alex, that he didn't actually commit to the name Lightning Cat. Obviously, we've seen it launched at Shanghai as Lightning Cat. It's already known as that over in China. I don't know what they're going to do with it here. I guess the whole cat thing seems a bit odd for a car. So
Yeah, I think the Funky Cat has made a few people confused. Like, I think you've had one you've driven on your own YouTube channel, and the name of it's just a little bit weird. So the guy you spoke to, Toby, he didn't confirm the name of it. He just said it's not confirmed yet. But interestingly, Fully Charged released a YouTube video today with Jack reviewing the car, and they actually called it the Lightning Cat in the video. So I'm interested to see what they call it. I think just call it Lightning. It'd be quite cool.
yeah, it doesn't really need the cat on the end, that's
No.
for sure. Interested as well, he didn't commit to the numbers on it. Obviously, there is a very quick one available in China. I think 0 to 60 about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
But whether they actually go with that here, or they go with maybe 2 tiers, or go for just a more sensible option, who knows?
Yeah. We also looked at the Morris JE van. So that van was sort of its first drive was on Johnny Smith's YouTube channel, the Late Break Show. So I managed to grab a few words with John, the sort of managing director of Morris, I think. He kindly sat down. Well, kindly gave an interview with me. So the full video was on the Interface YouTube channel. Link is in the show notes. But here's the audio of that now. So I'm here at the Fully Charged Show South 2023. I'm here with John from Morris. They've got the new electric JE van that was featured on Johnny Smith's video a few weeks ago. So hi, John.
Alex, good to see you, and thank you for your interest as well. This vehicle on Johnny Smith was so popular. We got 1.1 million views with this in about 9 days. And if I tell you a bit about this is our first vehicle in recycled carbon fibre, which is our production intent material. It's got our own chassis, which is in aluminium, and the rest of the components on it are quite well proven parts. So the innovation is in the body and the chassis, which makes us lightweight. Behind us over there, Alex, is an ID Buzz, for example. He can only carry about 600 kilograms. We're up to 1,000. So really, we're working on lightweight.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's amazing that you've developed a vehicle in-house, especially a company that's born and bred in the UK, which is really rare to see. It's a shame that we're not seeing that so often. When can we expect the Morris JE to go on sale in the UK?
It will be early next year. So this is, I would say, the first vehicle with the correct production materials and correct components. There's still some more development to do, some more testing to do, and we'll sell in UK first of all. We've got thousands of inquiries from all around the world. Focus on UK first, then probably Europe, and then the rest of the world maybe as well. So selling this is not an issue. We've got some engineering work still to do, and we're nearly there.
Is there any different body styles? So I can imagine people will be quite interested in camper vans. That's a big thing that the ID Buzz has got a camper van version on show here, and window vans maybe. And is that something you're interested in or doing?
We're looking. This one we've kitted out a bit as a day camper, because at Fully Charged, particularly, you have families coming along, and people over the last couple of years have always said, "What about a camper van?" So we've done something this year with a pod in the back and a sort of a daybed arrangement. Pickup is another variant that we're looking at. So van first, and then pickup. That's the intention.
The technology inside. So you've got an aftermarket head unit in there. Does that support CarPlay and Android Auto and that sort of thing?
Yes, it will. It will. You know, we're not going to be technology leader in terms of electronics, but we'll be up there with all the necessary aids and things. We've got, as you've probably seen here, one difference between this second vehicle and the first vehicle was we've ditched the mirrors and we're going for cameras, little screens up here which have got to be blended in. So there's some good technology. That's our intention.
Yeah, and you mentioned it's made out of carbon fibre, so that's really good for EV range, because this is really light, isn't it? It's about 1,000 kilos.
Yeah, it's actually 1,500 curb weight, and this particular one is well under that, so we're confident that we'll get to the 1,500. It's actually recycled carbon as well, so 85% of this, all the flat panels are recycled. We've got some virgin carbon where there's some definition required, really sort of detailed definition, like the rear doors have quite a lot of virgin carbon in that, but most of it's recycled, which is a good story as well.
Yeah, of course. Is there any information about the price, or is that still...
No, we've been saying 61,000 plus VAT for some time, and that originally looked quite ambitious, but now everybody's kind of creeping up to that sort of price, so actually it looks quite realistic, and with the interest we've got, people know the pricing, most of them, and that's not an issue, so we're happy with that.
Brilliant, thank you for your time. It's good to have some insight on the new Morris JE van. Hopefully it'll go on sale pretty soon. I can imagine it'll be very popular with a lot of more traditional UK companies, which is pretty good to see. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Alex. Thank
Cool.
you.
What a nice chap he was, and he actually spent a bit of time with us away from that, didn't he?
Yeah, it gave us a nice chat. So hopefully someday there'll be a video of me driving that van, because it does look pretty good, pretty cool. Obviously all carbon fibre, very lightweight and pretty good range from what I understand. So
Yeah, really cool design as well, especially those back doors, and
very cool.
and in the guise they had it there, it was set up as kind of a half camper.
Yeah, he called it a day camper. So
Yeah.
It's got like a kitchen and like a large sofa inside, which is quite cool.
Brilliant marketing vehicle though. I mean, people are just going to stand and look at that thing when it goes by.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great marketing tool. What was it about? I know he's just said it in the audio, but we're obviously sat outside Costa at the moment and we're not listening to it back, but it's around about 60 grand.
I think he said £68,000.
Yeah. Yeah, which you could see the right kind of companies spending that purely for the marketing side of things, even if they don't really use it as a van very often.
100%. Yeah. We also spent some time in the show hall, so indoors, out the rain, because the rain today was pretty bad. And Jim spoke to two people today. There's a company from. There's a guy from.
Yeah, so he was actually representing two companies, but the main sort of crux of our conversation was Anderson, who make very sort of premium EV chargers for your home, and they're partnered with a couple of companies, but we'll play the audio from that for you now. So I'm here now with David from Anderson EV Chargers, and David, tell us more about what it is that you guys do.
Well, Anderson has got a unique place in the marketplace. We got a lot of experience in EV charging. We've been in the game for 14 years, and so we know what customers want. Anderson is unique in the fact that we've got over 130 choices of colour matches, different cable lengths, different outputs and so on. And we're the only charger in the market where you can hide the cable. So the cable will wrap around the unit, put in the hatch at the top of the unit, and so it goes on your wall. When you're not using it, blends in with your house.
And we looked at some of the finishes. Obviously, we've got different kind of paint finishes, but also some really nice wood finishes. They're quite popular, I understand.
Yes, we've got different colour finishes. We've got a wooden fascia. You can have different colour sides and so on. And we believe as the market for EVs matures, people are going to want more and more choice to match in with a house. And if you're spending lots of money on a new EV, to spend maybe £200 or £300 extra on a charger that blends in with your house is something that fits your lifestyle.
Absolutely. And we've also got some good news about where these things are manufactured, have we not?
Yeah, the unit is manufactured in the UK. We are very proud of the quality. It's hand-built and particular attention to detail. So we like to think it's one of the most reliable units on the market. We give a 3-year warranty, and we find them not giving anybody any trouble. So we're very proud of the fact it's completely British built.
And I assume you've got options for one single phase and for 3 phase?
We do a single phase 7 kilowatt unit, 22 phase 3 phase unit, and it's we do units that actually match with the people's requirements. So absolutely, we find in the UK about 75% of people will choose the 7 kilowatt unit. About a quarter of people use 3-phase. And we've got relationships with preferred supplier for Porsche and Jaguar Land Rover. So if you've got a nice car, you want to have a nice Anderson unit to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from the chargers I've seen today, certainly some of the most unobtrusive. I've got an Easy One charger on my wall at home, and that one in itself, no screens or anything. It's not the worst looking thing in the world, but I think this just is that cut above. It really does blend in quite nicely.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, we're there's plenty of choice at the lower end of the market if you want a cheap and cheerful charger, but we're really catering for people who want something that is smart and blends in with their house. Often, actually, we're always very intrigued that actually it's often the wife that makes the decision of the finish of the unit that goes on the side of the house.
Have you been watching me? Yeah, that's a very, very familiar story to me. So price point for these starting around about £1,200?
It's £1,200 plus you can have various add-ons. You can have a wooden fascia, cost you another £200. You can have a carbon fibre appearance fascia, which costs about £300. Really, you make the choice. But bear in mind, if you buy a new Range Rover, you'll have a choice of a carbon wing mirror that might cost an extra £500, different lighting inside. So people are quite used to having a choice of extras when they buy a new car. But we're competitive. We think it's value for money. We've got 13,000 customers out there, happy customers that are using the unit. We've got a lot of experience. You've got a nice app that goes with the unit. It links with various off-peak electricity tariffs or solar. So it's fully functional in that direction.
Fantastic. Thanks very much. I also had a chat with a couple of people from Clenergy, including a shout out to Dave Phelps, who actually watches my YouTube channel. He's one of the 3 people that watches my YouTube videos. So big shout out to Dave. Really nice guy. But we did record a short interview with Michael from Clenergy, and he's just going to talk you through what it is that they do. Hello folks, I'm here with Michael from Clenergy. Michael, tell us what you do.
Clenergy EV, we have our own charge point management system. Effectively it sits between whoever owns the charge point and the EV driver when they try and charge their vehicle. So they pull up to the vehicle, they want to get a charge, they communicate to the charge point using our app or using an RFID card. Then we collect that transaction, all of that money, that income stream for whoever owns that charge point, we send to them at the end of the month. The EV driver can drive away at the end of that session. They don't have to create an account with us. They can check out as a guest user. They can pay whichever method they want, like Google Pay, Apple Pay as well. So it's nice and seamless. We sit behind, do all the legwork for the charge point owner effectively, so they can drive a steady income stream. And that works for holiday destinations, hotels, restaurants, pubs, but also the workplace as well. They want to offer that service to their employees. There's every type of business that has people visiting them, essentially.
Great, okay. And where do people find out more about Clenergy?
You can find us online, so clenergy-ev.com. And we're also on all social media platforms as well. We're going to be growing out a lot of YouTube content around how the charge point works as well. Check that out if you get a chance as well.
Great, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Interesting stuff, quite a unique proposition from those guys, quite different to the rest. I must admit, in that main hall, I think if I'd bought a ticket for today, obviously we went on press tickets, but if I'd have bought a ticket for today, in that main hall, I'd have been a bit disappointed because it was just stacks of home charging companies trying to sell their product to you. And it felt like a bit of a missed opportunity almost.
Yeah, it did feel, not that anything people had there was boring at all.
Yeah.
It just felt a bit charging company. Yeah. But there was one big highlight. We both got a pink octopus today.
We did get a pink octopus from Octopus Energy, funnily enough. So that was a massive highlight of the day. And we got a free bar of chocolate from Anderson.
Branded free bar of chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one to be a complete corporate shill, but we have just played their interview, and they did give me chocolate. So full disclosure.
Yeah. There was one other thing I was interested in that hall was the I can't remember the name of the company. I've got their details somewhere. But they had an ID Buzz camper van. That was the first
Oh yeah,
camper van of an ID Buzz I think I've ever seen.
yeah, and I'm sure there are going to be so many companies that now kind of start up just to do ID Buzz conversions, because it's a huge business opportunity in it. They were called D-Van.
Okay.
Yeah. The one they had on show there started from 79 grand, with the conversion done, and that got you, I think, a roll-away bed, a rock and roll bed, pop-top roof, leisure battery, fridge, solar panel, and an induction hob. But I would guess with that kind of thing, they'll make it to suit any budget. So yeah, quite interesting, and it did suit it, to be fair.
Yeah, and there is a long wheelbase ID Buzz out at some point, I think in the next few years. That'd be even better to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did film a little bit of B-roll of that ID Buzz, so there'll be a link for the video down below.
Now, I think the highlight for me was actually seeing an F-150 Lightning in the flesh and a Rivian in the flesh.
Yeah, there was I think they called it the EV launch tent. I can't exactly remember the name of it. But there was a load of vehicles we haven't seen before. So there's the Rivian R1T, the Abarth 500e, as you mentioned, the Ford F-150 Lightning, which actually was huge.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so big.
But tiny in America.
Yeah. And also, I think its European debut, it was the Jeep Avenger.
Yep. They also had the, whether you call it Xpeng or Xiaopeng, but that was very cool. Kind of a Tesla model, maybe Model 3 or Model S rival even.
Yep.
But that looked very nice. Unfortunately, you couldn't get in it, but it did seem quite lovely. And,
there was the Vauxhall Astra electric.
That's the one.
That's never been seen before. I spoke to one guy there loosely for a few seconds, and he said no one was expecting this here today.
Yeah.
Not even he was expecting it there, so it just turned up, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite funny.
Bit disappointed that we didn't see an EV9 there, especially as the Kia stand had EV9 posters all over it and stuff.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing. There was quite a few cars we've seen before. So Tesla had an official stand, which I think punters could just rock up and do a test drive in. And you could do test drives of anything that day, I think. So you got the BYD vehicles, and obviously not the Dolphin, and the Aura Cat as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so overall, in sort of summary, what did you think of the day one of Fully Charged?
Yeah, I thought it was a good day. I must admit, I'd be gutted if I bought a weekend ticket for it, because you're really going to see it today, I guess. You round it within probably 4 or 5 hours. But we didn't see a lot of the speakers because, we had appointments with people to go and get little interviews and stuff. So we probably didn't see it as a normal punter would see it, because we had some of those appointments and things. But I think it's a good event. I think I'd like to see it grow, and I'm sure it will grow year on year. And I think I'd like to see a lot more variety inside that main hall, rather than there being so many EV charger providers. But it's great to see such a big event just dedicated to EVs, and nice atmosphere, not overcrowded. Yeah, quite a nice sort of chilled out event to attend. Certainly much more chilled out than the British Motor Show, which I've been to a couple of times at the same venue. A lot smaller than the British Motor Show, but much more chilled out. Bit of a nicer vibe to it, bit quieter.
Yeah, the inside hall was about the same size as the commercial vehicle show I went to last week.
Oh, yeah.
So I filmed some videos for the interface on that aspect of Ford and Maxus. I think the inside hall was about the same size, if not a little bit bigger. Yeah, a bit similar. Yeah, it's a good day. It's been quite, just for reference, about 3 p.m. now. We've been there most of the day. Jim's been up since 5 a.m. So
yeah, not because it takes that long to get here from Bournemouth, but because I can't sleep due to a problem with my wiring, I guess.
All right, thanks for listening to this special episode of Charging Status from Fully Charged South 2023. You can find this podcast on all good podcast players and all the bad ones as well. And also at theinterface.uk for all the car news, EV news, and tech news as well, if you're into that sort of stuff. So where can people find you, Jim, if they want to see you?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube or Facebook as Definitely Not a Guru, on Instagram at Not a Guru Jim, and Twitter Not a Guru 3.
So we'll be back for the regular scheduled programming of Charging Status later in May. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time.
Like and subscribe. Bye. What was the other one called?
Electric something? Oh, obviously.